Drums of applause. Boom, 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 boom. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Double Dare to Glow with another soft skill that we all need every single day. And today, as always, I always have amazing guests that are here to join us and cover these topics and enrich us in becoming better in our everyday lives. My name is Joyce Loy, better known as the Dare to Glow coach. I'm a career development coach, leadership and organizational consultant. I am an author of Dare to Glow, and some of the topics we cover are normally from the book, but also, I don't want to forget that in our everyday lives, we need to have these soft skills. So today I have a guest. He is from South Africa, to be precise, Johannesburg. And I know I'll be visiting very soon, so hope to meet him. He's called Dangan. I hope I'm saying his name right, hopefully. And he just shook his head. So, yes, I said it right. He's a transformational speaker. He is a business development. He is an author of Reset Your Mindset for Success. And after introducing himself, one of my first questions to him will be, what was his inspiration of writing his book? Otherwise, let him give a brief introduction about himself before we get into our topic. To you, Mr. Dangan.
All right. Thanks, JK. Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I hope people are going to be able to enjoy this, and they're going to have good nuggets to take from this conversation. And just to introduce myself, my name is Dingan Rahlapane from South Africa. I wrote report in South Africa. I am an author, like JK mentioned, and also I'm the mindset transformational speaker. Yeah, and also the book that I have, which was launched in 2021. And I know JK just asked me a question to say, what was the inspiration of writing the book? The book was mainly because as I went into this whole world of personal development in terms of being a catalyst for people's growth, when the hard lockdown came in, the question that came to mind is, what is it that I can do during this time that can be long lasting, something that I can remember this period for? Because in my life, most of the time, when there's something like a setback, I always want to do something positive so that I can remember that period with something that inspired me instead of thinking of the bad things that happened. So I used to have a lot of notes that I used to go through for myself, actually, in terms of my life coaching career. But during the hard lockdown, I was like, but I'm here. There's nothing that I'm doing. There's just so much time that one has. And I actually combined all the notes and made them together into like a manual that I can always refer to. It was something that was like a reference material for me. And after some weeks, something was like, but this looks like someone else can read this and gain something from this material. That's when I thought, okay, maybe let me think of maybe producing a book out of this whole pack of documents. Then that's how the idea of a book actually came about at the time. And I thought, okay, let me put it together and then get someone who can help me, because you always need help in this world. So I got a publishing company, got the editor to look at the material. But the funny thing is that when they checked the material for the first time, the state was saying, please send the manuscript. I said, I sent it. He said, no, Mr. Rahlapane, please send the manuscript because you sent notes. I said, no, but I signed it. He said, no, this is not a book. So it was such a funny story in terms of our first interaction. But long story short, just to come and finish up the whole story, the book was finally completed, and I actually launched it. It was in October of 2021. Yeah, Reset Your Mindset for Success. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And one key thing that you just shared with us was the communication you had between you, the editors, and the publishing organization. Because if they were not honest and transparent with you to tell you, you know what you've sent us are just notes, you should send us the real thing. You go back and then use the same notes to turn it into a book. And that's why we are here, communication. But again, thank you so much for that tip. So now we know what is inside Reset. It's all about resetting your mindset from maybe fixed mindset to growth mindset, or even becoming better with your growth mindset if you already have one. So, our topic for today is how can you communicate effectively? Not just communicate, but communicate effectively during disagreements to find solutions. You find that in this day and era, people think that communication is just talking to someone and that's it. We forget that communication goes to how you speak, how the other person also perceives what you have spoken. I used to say, personally, I used to say, what I say is up to me. How the other person perceives it doesn't matter. But over the years, I've grown to understand that it doesn't work that way. I have to communicate and make sure the other person understands me effectively. So that's where we are today. And one of the things that I know that are very, very crucial in this day and life is we are going to face disagreements. Conflict is going to happen because we are human. We're not animals. Even animals fight and they find ways to solve their problems. So, as humans, we have to be equipped with how we handle conflict. And this is what we have today. It's a way of handling conflict, but also how do we communicate effectively to avoid those disagreements that keep happening. So I'm going to ask Mr. D, I love to call him Mr. D, to share with us his first view or point in regards to how any of us, if it's workplace or even in our personal lives, how can we communicate effectively during a disagreement, so that we get to understand each other and avoid more problems. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. I think I'm going to start with the communication with my editor because this is something that it's historically something that happened, and it boils down to the same effective communication, because it was like, you can say, disagreements, because I thought what I was bringing was okay, but she thought differently. And at the time, what I said to her, JK, is, please tell me whatever that you want to say with be as constructively criticize as much as you can, because one thing that is about me is I don't personalize things. I think that is one of the things that are very important when it comes to disagreeing with someone. So don't get into a personal space, because mostly when, let's say, this person is your colleague, the truth is that this person only knows you from the work, and they know you from the assignment that you are doing. They care less about your private life story. So don't personalize things. If I did personalize that conversation, maybe I wouldn't have a book now. But because I didn't personalize, I just took it as a book that need to be dealt with, and some things that need to be attended to make sure that we get the right material done. That is the first thing. And you were mentioning something now, which is again very interesting. You said something about, I used to think whatever that I say, it's okay. How the other person takes it, it's actually none of my business. True, I used to think that like that as well. But as time went, I realized that there's something called intent and impact. So your intention might have an unconscious a negative impact on the other person, but without you realizing it. So it's always important to actually just reaffirm and actually verify with the next person to say, okay, I just said everything is fine. But from the other side, because what we say sometimes, you see, what I say to you may not come the same way that I say to you when you receive it. That is what communication is all about. So it is it's my duty to make sure that whatever that I have said, JK receives it the way I've said it to her, and actually verify with her. That's the most important thing. That's why I like what Peter Drucker says about communication. He says the most important thing about communication is hearing what is being said. That is the other thing about communication. And this talks to actually talking to people, JK, because I think now in this era of social media, people are prone to communication through just sending a WhatsApp message, just going to Facebook or whatever, and just communicate with someone from that space. But from what I've noticed, that might make things even become even worse in terms of if there's a certain disagreement that is there. The traditional way of still calling a person and talking to them, it is, for me, it still wins everything, because when you talk to a person, there's something that happens, JK. You can detect the tone. When a person says, it's fine, you can feel, no, it's not fine. But when they type, they can just say it's fine. You say, oh, everything is fine. But if you listen to them, you can feel, no, it's not fine. Something's not right. So you still need to make sure that you talk to the person, not only just type or send voice notes to a person. Okay, and yeah, if you can allow, okay. The other things that are, I think this is the most important and the most challenging one, the one that I'm going to say now, and it's something that is challenging even to myself, used to be a serious challenge, is staying calm during disagreements. Because sometimes you get a colleague who comes and they come with an idea, you feel like, I don't really like this idea. Why do they say this? But if you can calm at that time, I can tell you, this is what makes the greatest people in terms of the greatest communicators. It is being calm when things feel like they're going out of the way. And I'm going to give you an example of something that happened in South Africa. I think most people would know about this if they were to follow a bit of history of our country. On the 10th of April in 1993, this was a liberation struggle activist. His name was Chris Hani. He was gunned down in I think it was in the east end of Johannesburg. After that, I can tell you, JK, I was at varsity and I was very, very angered. I felt like, you know what, now is about time that now we're going to fight. We need all the guns to go and fight. Not only was it me thinking that way, most of the young people at the time, they felt it like, you know what, now it's about time that we start, and now we just face each other and now start to fight. But what happened in the evening of that day, it's when I realized leadership is about that calmness that you can have when everybody is losing it at the same time. So what happened is, in the evening of that day, Nelson Mandela, at the time, he was still the president of an opposing political party, which is the ANC. He went on national radio to talk to us about why this was actually. He reframed everything to say, let's make this an opportunity for us to fast track into getting the elections done. So that's when I realized, this man, under everything that is happening, he's so calm. Like, it's okay. We saw
It's so positivity.
Yes. I was like, wow, I'm so angry. And this man is so calm. And he calmed almost all of us because nothing happened afterwards. So those are a few things that I just wanted to share with you and the viewers, those are the few things that you can improve or your communication very, very, very effectively. You can communicate effectively and make a lot of difference in your communication.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I actually love the examples also. And the other thing, like, you find that even when you give the best example I love to give is actually the ocean, or a boat being on the ocean. The moment the waves are too high, what happens? The boat will sink. It is the same way when we are angry. The moment you are angry and you're communicating, there's no way you're going to be calm, So the best way is avoid communicating when you're angry at the person you are. And I love the example you've given about the phone call. A phone call makes a big difference. For me, calling someone and telling them how I feel it is resolved than writing a message. And the other day I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me that for her, when she's angry, she writes. She's going to send an email on how she feels. And she was looking for a way to stop doing that. And I told her, how about if you walk away, like take a walk, and because I could say I've seen someone who has anger issues, and I would say she actually had to go and start getting classes on that. And that was my sister. She used to get so angry, but over the years, when she started getting that consultation on how she can deal with the anger management and all that, I started seeing how she used walking, like just walking and taking a walk, a real long stroll. And by the time she came back, her mindset had changed. For
Sure.
me today, I use that. I use what she was, because she used to have those anger issues that in my life, I've never seen someone as angry as her. But right now, she's the calmest. But because she used that technique. So when you are angry, I want to leave it with everyone today. If you're angry, what do you do, for you to effectively come back and communicate with another person? Do you take a walk? Do you take a book and start writing out or draw, or so that you find that calmness, like Mr. D has said? Because if you don't find some calmness with yourself, you are going to say things that are hurtful. You are maybe going to lose a friend, or even you're going to get into worse things, especially at work. You might lose your job. So the other thing that I wanted to say to avoid, actually, when you're having a disagreement, is the I statement. And I think I would want you to add something after my point. The thing is, normally when we get angry, we use the we. We would have done better. And for me, I've come to realize that one of the tips is you saying I am frustrated because this. I am angry because you didn't listen to me. And what I did is because you didn't listen to me. And it is I am angry. So you put yourself first, and then you tell the other person how you feel, rather blaming. Because sometimes when we come into blaming, it becomes a heated, instead of being even a disagreement, it becomes heated disagreement. So always use the I statement when you're in disagreement, for it to become calmer and for you to find a solution. Because by the time I come to you, Mr. D, and say, Mr. D, I feel like yesterday I sent you a message and you took too long to reply me. I just want to know, I would just like to know what was happening on your side. I feel it would make a big difference if I came and said, you seem not to want to listen to me. Every time I send you a message, you don't reply me. Every time I send you a message, you take long to answer. There is a very big difference from the person who came with I feel when you take too long to reply me, maybe you have better things to do than answer me. It's different from when you put the blame on the other person without knowing what they were up to, without knowing what is on the other side of their world, without understanding. So always try to be empathetic, because that is also one of the crucial things in communication. You don't know what that person is going through. You seeing them smiling doesn't mean everything is okay, So I just want to know, normally when it comes to the I statement or the we statement, is there a way people can use it to help them during the disagreements? Because I know it's one of those vital things that they can use.
No, I think I agree with you greatly, because when you say I, it's something that shows I'm taking that accountability of something that has happened to me and I want to see a solution. Because when you say we, obviously the other person can say, but I don't feel the same way that you are feeling. So it's a way of showing that, taking the accountability to say, you know what, I feel like I've been wronged, or I feel like something happened to me in this way. And something else that I always feel is important is, there's just the simplest way that people always talk about, to say, when a person talks, listen with the intention to understand what they're saying. Because they might say, I am hurt by this, but during that time when there's disagreements, try to make yourself, I don't want to use the word force, because when you say force, it's like it's a huge thing that you have to deal with. Make sure that you can have that ear that can listen. When a person says, I was disturbed by this, I feel this was not good to me, but most of the time we just listen, actually with the intention to quickly defend on what is being said by the other person. So I think those are the basic things that we can do as people to improve our communication skills. Because most of the time also, I said to people that, JK, make sure that you always find what is called the common ground. Because sometimes, mostly when I was in the corporate sector space, would be arguing about something. Argue, you are doing this weapon like this, but it's two sections arguing about something. But at the end of the day, you notice that actually there's no need for a winner here. All of us, we just want to make sure that there's an understanding and a solution to a certain common issue that is at hand. So the common ground is going to be to say, no, we are actually a couple and we want our relationship to work. That is the common ground that we want to achieve at the end of the day. So for me, those are the, yes, I fully agree with you. I take the responsibility that, yes, I'm the one that feels like I've been offended here. But then please, if we can make sure that you listen and listen with the intention to say, what is JK saying actually, that I can actually maybe be able to assist and help in this conversation that we are having, because we have a common ground that we need to reach at the end of the day.
I like that, listening actively. They say don't just listen actively. And that is one of the qualities of great leaders. And we all have to be great leaders. When sometimes we say we have to be great leaders, people think it's people in high positions. It's us, because we lead our lives. So you have to be able to listen actively to everyone who is with you. And the point you just also made in regards to common ground. I recently had a masterclass, and I have one happening also tomorrow. And one of the main things that I love to cover is conflict styles, that we all have different conflict styles on how we deal with conflict with ourselves and with others, personally and professionally. And some of these include old style. One of the old style is the collaborative way of dealing with conflict, where you want to win. Both of you are winning.
Oh, yeah.
And then there is the shark. The shark is all about, I am the one winning, you are losing. I don't care what the situation is. You are losing, I am winning. And then there is the teddy bear, which is accommodating. All the time you are the one, or is, okay, I'll do it. So you lose, and all the time other people are winning. And then there is the tortoise. The tortoise is the one that avoids conflict in all situations. You always avoid conflict. Every time there's conflict, you run away. When there's disagreement, you don't want to sort it out. You bolt it, you hold grudges, you don't want to listen to the other person. And sometimes as a tortoise, you come out when you want, but you may come out when there's no need to actually solve anything anymore, but the person is already angry at you and you've lost the relationship. And then there is the fox. The fox is the one that is compromising. So why am I sharing these? Is sometimes when you get to learn your conflict style, how do you deal with conflict? Because you may say, I deal with all those styles are me. And I will say, yes, definitely. But you have to learn when to use these styles and how. So in all ways, when you mentioned that common ground, I wanted to let everyone know that in everything you do, try to equip yourself with who you are, because sometimes we forget who we are. If you get to learn who you are, that if you're a tortoise, you avoid conflict and you learn how to deal with it, that when I'm in disagreement with Mr. D, I'm going to avoid him. But if I avoid him, then how am I solving this issue? So you equip yourself with you equip yourself with skills on how you can try to build a relationship even when you are angry. And always owl will always win, but you have to learn how to be an owl. You have to learn how to be collaborative with others, that even when I'm angry at Mr. D, I'm going to call him and tell him, Mr. D, you know what, you did this. How can we come to a pair so that we find a solution? Rather than me thinking of you as whatever I'm thinking, we talk about it. You win, he wins, rather than having all those disagreements. So I just wanted to put it out there that there are always masterclasses happening. And Mr. D, you always have masterclasses happening, equipping people with mindset shift. And if someone is out there and they want to equip themselves with resetting their mindset, because we may think we know it all until we attend a masterclass with Mr. D. You may know it all until you attend my masterclass and say, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that about myself. So I'm just putting it out there that we have to equip ourselves with ways on how we can communicate better. And sometimes these masterclasses, sometimes they are free. Join them. Like right now, this is free. It's free knowledge. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add and on what I've said, or even any closing remarks. Yes, back to you.
Yes, I want to add something. It's an example, JK. What we just mentioned about this different type of analogies of animals. This one is a shark coming at you. I'm going to fight and win. And there's the tortoise that is running away. So I'm just going to show you how somehow one can integrate these things in a certain way. Because as we were talking, I thought of what used to happen when I was in the corporate sector. Sometimes would sit in a meeting, JK, and then one would become a tortoise. I'll just tell myself, oh, okay, I'm not going to say anything here because everything is heated. But then the tortoise in me, what I did is after the meeting, I'd go to JK when things are now calm to say, JK, by the way, when you said this thing, it is not entirely true because we have done this. So there was no friction in the whole setup of a meeting, but you were able to go back to the person and say, the thing is, you don't run away for good. I think that is very important. Don't run away for good. You come back, just like JK would want to walk. She's not going to walk away and then that's it. No, when everything's calmed down, you are able to engage. So even the tortoise style, you can come back and say, you know what, JK, by the way, I didn't like the way you addressed X, Y, and Z. And sometimes you still get to the effectiveness way of working together and still building relationships. So I just wanted to add that because that's what I remember that in the past, sometimes I used to say to my team that, okay, when it's so heated, just let our bosses just say whatever they say, even if they're blaming us. But after this, we'll talk to them and they say, I appreciate what you are saying because if you said this in that meeting when JK and her team were there, maybe it could have been embarrassing. So yeah, communication is that way, and I hope this is what the viewers are taking home in terms of the nuggets to say I can walk away, but doesn't mean I must walk away forever. I'll come back still when things are calmed down to be able to address things. Because there's something, just a quick one, JK, that I just want to maybe recommend to the viewers that there's a certain book, I think maybe you might know about it. It's a book by James Allen. It's called As a Man Thinketh. And there's a chapter there that talks about serenity. It talks about how serene you can be under any circumstance. Under whatever that is happening, you can calm yourself down to be able to engage. Because when you have a certain type of disagreement, the person who loses their cool, they lose out most of the time. Yeah, so that's what I just wanted to add on. Thank you.
Amazing. I hope everyone has heard that they can actually check out the book. No, thank you so much for that share. Learning never stops. We'll have to learn and relearn. And I love what Obed has said here, Mugisha. He says, great stuff, learn who you are and start the process of dealing with it. And definitely the moment you get to learn who you are, these are styles that when personally I have my masterclass, people are like, oh, I didn't know. Actually, you know what, coach? One of my styles is I'm a shark. I don't want to lose. I always have to win. So the most important thing is what strategies do you equip yourself with? Because you learning your style is different from now equipping yourself with how to deal with people, because now let me tell you one thing, Mr. D, if you get to learn these styles, you get to learn even when people come and they are sharks to you. You get to know that this one is a shark right now, and this is how I'm going to deal with them. You get. But how do you equip yourself with these strategies? Is by attending these workshops, master classes, and you get to learn these things. Or you can self-teach yourself. They're all out there. You can keep learning. Like we said, learn and relearn. Otherwise, I don't know if you have any closing remarks from you, Mr. D.
Yes, it's just what you just mentioned. Thank you very much for indicating the masterclass that I do have. Because I heard you said you're starting the other one tomorrow, but mine is coming on the 6th and 7th of July. It's based on my book, Reset Your Mindset for Success. And that's what we're looking at, because most of the time people go through a lot, JK, and sometimes as all these news that are getting to you, the economic news and everything, political things, you end up losing a sense of meaning to life and direction. And also what I just mentioned now about the emotional intensity, emotional state. If you lose it, how do you come back, or how do you maintain a certain emotional state and do certain things in terms of rituals to make sure that you reach the dreams that you have? Because we all have dreams. I always say I've not met a person who does not have dreams that they want to achieve, but sometimes our mindset can actually fail us. Hence, you just need to reset it, just like you service your car almost all the months during the year. So that is what is happening for me. And if anyone wants to keep in contact with me, lastly, is just they can send something on my WhatsApp number, which is 068 470 1102. or they can send an email to Dingaan Ratlhapane, my name and surname, 16 at the end at gmail.com. And the socials is at Dingaan Ratlhapane 2303. It's on actually on YouTube. And also on Instagram is Dingaan_Ratlhapane. It's just my name _Ratlhapane. TikTok at Dingaan Ratlhapane. So those are the spaces that I'm mostly active at. They can contact me there, and also you can go to LinkedIn. You can come here and type in my name. Just type in my name, you'll get the details of my name. Thank you very much, JK. I enjoyed this.
It's a pleasure. Definitely. Yeah. He has said how you can reach out to him. And if you also want a copy of his book, You're Best in South Africa, I think it's easier. You know, it can be delivered to you in maybe, is it 2 or 3 days? You can get the book. The book, once again, the title is Reset Your Mindset for Success. Who doesn't want to be successful? You know, we all want to be successful. So get yourself a copy, and you never know, the sky is the limit, or even the sky is limitless. So the other thing that I want to leave everyone out there is reach out. You know, if you need support, reach out. You never know what a door can open for you on the other side. And before I close, I just want to say and leave a question to everyone. What are your best tips for communicating this during these agreements? Please leave it to us in the comment section, and let us know how you deal with disagreements, because we can't say it all. You might be having an idea and we can learn from you, just like I've learned a lot from Mr. D today, and I think it's vice versa. So we can't stop learning. Let's keep daring ourselves. Let's keep empowering ourselves, impacting and transforming each other every single day. Till next Tuesday, have a good night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.